Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with the
Hump Day
edition of Today in Sports Betting. Doing it baseball style, everybody. Taking a look at a couple of our favorite games. I like doing baseball, Scott, because we're not constricted by the games that are on TV. We don't have to talk about some bullshit game that we don't want to talk about. We get to talk about games that we want to talk about. So, yeah, there you go. With that being said, let's just kick it off, buddy. What are you looking at here, baseball-wise?
Well, you do have one game that we agreed we were going to start off with, and I'm trying to remember what it was. We got our boy we thought was going to pitch yesterday, and Max Fried, who we thought was going to get the start. Then they ended up pushing him back a day. They had Wilson on the mound instead. Toronto ended up cashing as a pretty nice underdog on the overnight, but a small favorite as the game went off. Robbie Ray once again, fantastic stuff. 10 strikeouts, 1K.
Robbie Ray.
10 strikeouts, 1 walk. He was great. But, yeah, in this one you got Fried, who has been, well, awful this season. I know that since he came off the IL, he has made 1 appearance, and he was pretty good. He ended up going 5 innings, 1 run. So, sure, looked pretty good there. But he's going up against Ryu, who has been pretty decent, 3.91 ERA. The thing is, how much can you actually look at Fried's stats while kind of just keeping in mind that he did look good in his 1 start following the injury? Do you toss the pre-injury stats out the window, or do you include him for this one?
I'm going to keep him close. I'm going to keep him close to me for this one. I want to see another performance before I will go ahead and sign off on Max Fried being officially back.
Okay.
He was so dreadful before he got sent down. Just not good at all. He gave up 14 earned in 11 innings, Scott. That's some bad baseball right there.
But for the record, I said Rio is a 3.91 ERA. He's actually got a 3.31 ERA. Either way, still good.
There goes our credibility. Jeez.
There goes right out the window. But still, you got to fact check these things. But his ERA is still good. He's been pretty good throughout the season. Toronto, 2 games over. Atlanta's 1 game under. The issue with Toronto has been the offense, which has been surprisingly disappointing so far this season. But you look at Ryu and the results, they're 3-2 in his starts, whatever that tells you. But do you really want to lay this big of a number with Max Fried? Because I'm not really into it.
No, Toronto or nada for me. Too much uncertainty on Max Fried. I don't know if we've got Max Fried of last year. I don't know if we've got Max Fried of earlier this season. So
for the record, I was being a bit sarcastic on the actual number. I just assumed with Toronto playing, you would have assumed you can get the Braves at home at like minus 140. It's minus 109. I don't think that they arguably should be favored in this spot because Fried's made 1 start in about a month.
Yep.
So I'd go Toronto or pass, but I might actually be tempted to maybe look at a first 5 under, which sounds really, really bold, but I don't really like this Atlanta bullpen.
No, they're not the best, Scott. 4.45 overall, 4.28 at home. Not the unit that you can certainly count on. They thought they had a lot of arms out there that hasn't really worked out. Now, Toronto, on the other hand, Scott, a team you thought was going to have bullpen problems, they've been very good. 2.92 overall, 2.64 on the road. So, yeah, pick your poison there. If you're going to make an underplay, I would definitely make it in the first 5 because the wheels could certainly come off for that Atlanta pen late in the game. And this is a Toronto team, despite the fact that they've kind of gotten off to a slow start, they have kind of done a lot better lately. Scott, their last 7 games, they've averaged 5.7 runs per game. And I like the way this team is finally starting to hit the ball a little bit as things get warmer. I've got to take Toronto here. I know, what is it, minus 101, minus 102, something like that on Toronto.
Yeah, give or take.
Give or take. Give me the Blue Jays there as the small prize.
Yeah, I think money will come in on Atlanta, but that's just because Atlanta's at home, and Reed had a good start his last outing, so people think he's back. But we agree here. We got to see a little bit more. Plus, if Fried's going to give you probably a max of 6 innings, I don't want to deal with that Atlanta bullpen for at least 3 innings.
Yep, agreed. Yeah, even with his great performance last time out, Max Fried still has an ERA of 8.44.
Yeah, he only went 5 in that outing.
And a whip over 2. So yeah.
It's the same reason why I have a hard time backing Ohtani in his starts. His numbers are good, but as soon as he gets pulled, the bullpen's going to blow the game.
They certainly did it. They certainly did it again last night too. So
Mm-hmm.
we were right on a couple of dogs, Scott. If you watched our video, if you listened to the radio show, we had a couple of dogs that came through. The Cardinals came through. The Tigers came through. Baltimore should have came through. John Means did his thing. Only to be let down by a Baltimore Pen that had been pretty good, but they were not good.
Up 2-1 in the ninth with about a plus 130 underdog. You can't really ask for much more.
Yeah, no, you got it right, and that would have been a nice 3-way hit there. But
Mm.
so I say all that to say this, Scott, we've got the Cardinals in a position again. Even a bigger dog tonight, Scott. I've got them at plus 140 against Milwaukee, as John Gant goes up against Brandon Woodruff. Now, Woodruff, we all know, has had a fantastic season. He's been arguably, now that Burns is gone, he's been the best. He's been the best pitcher in the Milwaukee rotation without question.
I think he's probably the most underrated starting pitcher within the last 3 years.
I think that's very possible. I think he's the very definition of toils and anonymity up there, and it's not completely his fault because in 2019 he was kind of overlooked. He kind of came out of nowhere, and then last season was the COVID year, and he didn't get many starts. He was very good.
I was going to say, though, he was one game away from being the number one starter in a World Series game.
Yeah, absolutely true. And then this year, of course, he was overshadowed by Burns early in the season.
Mm.
So yeah, all he's done is gone out there and performed. Scott, Brandon Woodruff on the season, 1.73 ERA, a microscopic whip, still of 0.768. That's
the record.
Pretty darn good. His actual record, his team record's 5-2. That's what I look at.
Okay.
His official record is 2-1. But if you want to factor wins in at all, I always want to see if the team wins when he pitches. That means more to me. On the other hand, John Gant, not terrible, Scott. Kind of an anomaly, as a 2.15 ERA, but a whip much higher than you would expect at 1.705. So he has been very, very lucky, and I would imagine if you would check his BABIP, it would probably be pretty darn low. I'm going to take a quick look here because now I want to.
Wait, low or high? Because you said that he was lucky.
I'm sorry. His BABIP would be
high.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying because he has been.
I was just making sure we're on the same page there.
Let's see. You not put that up anymore?
And while you're looking that up, I'll give my thoughts on the game.
Share your thoughts, please.
I like the Cardinals plus money. I just said that Woodruff might be the most underrated pitcher in the league. However, I did learn throughout my time handicapping, huge tip here. In order to win games, you have to score more runs than the other team. And Milwaukee can't score any runs.
Pitching's only half the battle, my friend.
But you're looking at a situation where the Cardinals have been rolling over the last 2 weeks. Milwaukee had, I forgot if it was a 7-game losing streak, a 6, whatever. They were terrible. Then they won 2 games against Miami, and they lost the game after that yesterday to St. Louis. But I'm looking at this game 2 ways. I like the under, and I also like the Cardinals. You just go solely based on talent and the overall roster. You can't give me the Cardinals at plus 135 when the Brewers can't score.
No, I agree. And apparently, Scott, I've lost my mind because it looks to me like Baseball Reference no longer puts BABIP down.
Gave it a good run.
I don't know how that can be, but I checked it both individual games this season and his macros for his career. I got no BABIP. No BABIP.
Either way, point is, Gant's numbers are good. Woodruff's very, very good, but the Brewers can hit and the Cardinals can. So I'm assuming we agree it's going to be a similar story to yesterday. I know yesterday's game got to 7 runs. The Cardinals scored 5 in the 10th inning. So it was 1-1 into extras. Total 7.5 juice to the under. It's probably going to end up being at 7 in most spots. Brewers might end up scoring 2.
Yep.
Cardinals might end up scoring 3. So I like the under.
Yeah, Gant's a guy that has walked a lot of batters. He's walked 24 batters and 29 in the 3rd inning. So there's your problem right there. Giving up 26 hits, which is still a lot, but has given up 24 walks.
And Milwaukee does rank tied for 15th in walks per game.
Yeah, and just for grins, his FIP is 4.40.
Okay.
So that's a little closer to probably where it should be. So
Don't get me wrong. If Milwaukee wins this game, I won't be surprised because Woodruff's very good, but you can't give me the Cardinals at plus 140.
no. Right now the Cardinals have the best record in the National League. I argue that they're probably the hottest team in the National League right now.
Based on the last couple of weeks, they have to be.
Yeah, you can call it. The Mets have had a nice run too, but
They're a lot hotter than Milwaukee. We'll put it that way.
a lot hotter than Milwaukee, and they can actually score runs. And yeah, Woodruff doing well is only half the equation.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to score. Milwaukee can't do it. I've got to take the Cardinals at plus money.
I agree.
All righty. All right. So that's the two that we talked about. What else? What else you like here? We got Danny Duffy going against Detroit.
I was gonna give you the floor before we got into that game. Do you want to address what happened yesterday, or you don't want to talk about it?
About the Royals, the comeback.
The comeback just to fall short in the end, anyway.
Yeah, this is a game, and I know there's some anger against Hunter Dozier, and I'm not really sure if he made an error. I didn't watch the middle part of this game. I did see how it unfolded, though. The Royals basically fell apart. Brady Singer had a bad outing, and Royals end up going down 7-0. They tie it in the last two innings, pretty much on the back of Jorge Soler, as he hits a 3-run homer in the 8th, and then comes up with the bases loaded in the 9th, and hits a 3-run double. So, of the 7 runs the Royals scored to tie it, Soler drove in 6 of them. Hunter Dozier strikes out to end the inning, and then the Royals and Scott Barlow puke up the lead in the bottom of the 9th.
Wasn't the lead; it was a tie, but still same.
Puke up the tie. Well, they give up the lead. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'll stand by my statement. They puked up the lead.
Point is, though, Kansas City has lost 9 in a row.
Yeah,
we talked yesterday about how Boyd's very good and how the Royals probably shouldn't be laying about 130, having lost 8 in a row at the time.
Right.
I don't see a line on this game yet. I don't know if you do, but Duffy's been really good. Mize has been mediocre, better lately, but he's awful at home. Do I really want to take Kansas City laying, even though this team has completely fallen apart?
See, that's what good handicappers are right there, Scott. That's what separates us from the betting public, is the ability to know when that streak is over and to jump in front of it and to take the Royals bravely in the face of that 9-game losing streak.
I'm going to sense a bit of sarcasm there.
No, not a bit. No, I'm dead serious. And that is the thing, because it's easy to ride those trends. Kansas City's lost 9 straight. They're going to lose another one. You ride it down. But if you look at each game individually, you're like, you know what? This might be a decent spot for the Royals.
I think it depends on the price, which, of course, is common sense because that's what we do. But if the Royals are laying about 140 or so.
Yeah, no.
Or higher, which they might because Duffy's been really good.
Oh, no, I'm not laying any kind of price anywhere near.
What's your ceiling here, like 125?
Yes, 125 is the exact number I had in mind.
I'd agree. I think people are also going to overreact about the high-scoring game yesterday. Mize has been really, really bad at home, but I kind of like the under. I mean, Detroit's still worst offense in the league. I'm not going to overreact them scoring 8 runs yesterday.
Yeah.
And you have Mize, who has been better lately, not great at home, but Kansas City's also not a great offensive team. So I think you might get a total that might be a little bit high based on the baked-in game yesterday.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be an overreaction. I think you can get this game at probably 8.5, maybe 8 or so.
I think that's
too high.
8 for sure. 8.5 might be pushing it, but 8 for sure.
I'm going first 5 though, because this Detroit bullpen, which I know that we've talked about ad nauseum,
like that,
really blew a 7-run lead in 2 innings.
Yeah,
come on,
not good. Here comes Buck Farmer. I don't know if Buck Farmer was. I assume they threw everybody out of there.
I'm sure they threw Soto out there, who never gets an out. They threw in a bunch of guys who probably didn't do anything.
I will say this, Scott. The Royals absolutely blasted Mize earlier this season, scoring 6 runs and 4 2/3 against him. So,
but he's got good stuff.
What is that? What does that really mean, though? It means nothing. It means
he's a sinker that occasionally sinks.
It means this Royals team is mired in a slump. So, I would play the Royals, like I said, up to 125, just solely based on Duffy.
That's fair.
But I like the first 5 play because this is a Royals bullpen that's also been struggling. They were kind of a strength of their pitching staff early, and you're like, well, that's not going to last. And lo and behold, it hasn't. So, what else on the board here are you taking a look at?
Well, you got Keuchel against Happ in a kind of an underrated pitching battle there. But White Sox are laying about 135. I know yesterday I said the Cease price was a joke because Maeda was awful all year long. And shocker, he was not good again yesterday. Cease struggled a bit, but then he settled down after Chicago won the game handily. How am I supposed to bet against the Chicago team? At home against Minnesota. I can't.
Can't do it. You just this. If you want to know who's playing the best ball in the American League, it's probably the White Sox.
La Russa might not know the extra inning rules, but his team can hit. He can fill out a lineup card, which is really all you need with this team.
You really that's really it. That's really I like this team quite a bit. I didn't really like them. They found some pitching. That was always going to be the question for me. And I think the offense is going to do what the offense does. They've got a lot of firepower on that team. Not to mention Mr. Mercedes. So, Yep, there you go. All right, guys. Well, that's a little.
Sorry, you're saying that you expect the Mercedes to drive in a couple runs?
We were almost out of here, Scott. We were almost out of here.
I had to do it, man. Listen, it's 2 a.m. humor.
That's like one of those shots where the building is blowing up behind you and you're walking away, but you stop to throw one more grenade.
I wish I had the Miami Vice glasses to put on during the explosion.
Oh, outstanding. Well, folks, on that note, that's a better closer than I could ever come up with. All right. So, hey, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Win some games. Watch us tomorrow. And we'll see you then on Today in Sports Betting. We'll have some more fantastic jokes for you at that time. All right. You guys take care. See you then. Bye.